Hello and welcome to this Spirit, Mind, Body training today. My name is Cynthia Sumner. I'm the owner and founder of Healing Leaf, and today I'm going to talk about food storage and personal preparedness and emergency preparedness. And I actually have, I have a great concern about this. I have an urgency to share information about this and for myself to be prepared and have things in order the best that I can. And so I would love to share the things that I have learned and shed some light in this area to be able to feel prepared, which would be the perfect word, and have courage. And so I want to start before I get into what kinds of foods to store, because that's most people that are asking for training on this and information. They're wanting to know what foods because they want to have healthy food stored. And so I'm definitely going to share information on that. But I have to share first how important it is that this is the first thing to be working on, or simultaneously, but what is of the greatest importance is to prepare ourselves emotionally. And for me, I want to share spiritually. So to be prepared emotionally and spiritually and physically so that we can be ready for times of natural disaster or hard times in the economy when things happen. And so it is extremely important to be managing our emotions and to be in a good physical, healthy place. So, and I truly believe, and this is what I have learned through my healing and all these years that I have experienced, helping other people heal as well, that there is always an emotion at the root of any physical element. And of course, we're blessed with amazing physical remedies to be able to heal, but their high frequency is really healing the emotional, helping to heal and face the emotional issues. And I love a quote from David Wolfe in his book, Eating for Beauty. And he says that as we heal physically, this now allows us to be in a place where we then can look at the emotional things that we were unable to deal with before. And also, we're able, when we work on our emotional well-being, we're able to heal physically. So they go hand in hand, and some people start with the physical healing, some people start with the emotional healing. And how wonderful and amazing would it be to be able to work on both at the same time and heal faster. And that's what the program that I've organized and put together, that's the teaching that and the education that I give and the support. So I want to share from a book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And he says, the body is the servant of the mind. It opens the operations of the mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. At the bidding of unlawful thoughts, the body sinks rapidly into disease and decay. At the command of glad and beautiful thoughts, it becomes clothed with youthfulness and beauty. So it's important for us to realize that what we're thinking has a real frequency, a real physical frequency. Just because our eyes can't see it doesn't mean there isn't these waves of energy flowing around us from our thoughts and from what we're surrounding ourselves with in our environment. But our thoughts affect us just as much as our environment and everything else around us. And so some people are thinking, well, I'm not thinking negative thoughts, but I have physical issues. And a lot of times they're generational, just like we carry on the genes or a weakness of diabetes or cancer or a certain color of hair or a certain nose or a certain walk or personality, depression. We carry those emotions, those energies of emotion and beliefs as well as the physical traits through the generations. And so there can be some things that need to be cleared as far as an energy of an emotion or a belief that can cause physical issues. And then some of them are just our own experiences that we need, or fears that we have or traumas that we've had in our life that can affect us. And those emotions have a real frequency. And those negative frequencies will resonate around wherever we're weak in our body, because that part of our body is unable to throw off that negative frequency. So science is starting to be able to back up what we've believed for a long time, just feeling and knowing that in our heart, those of us in the natural field. And so it's important to know and to become aware of this and to start working on our emotions, journaling, and being aware of how we're feeling and choosing to move that out and replace it with truth. And it's simple. Like if you feel really angry and it's a cycle you always go through, or really scared or inadequate or anything that's negative is harmful to our body. Fear is the cause of so many illnesses. And so when you have a negative emotion, you stop and say, okay, I am feeling this. I choose to let this fear go, and I'm going to replace it with support and power and confidence and love and acceptance and capability, and whatever words come to your mind. Writing it down makes it a lot more permanent. And sometimes those emotions come back, but you just work on it again. I choose to let go of fear. So one for me is feeling inadequate as a mother. So I choose to let go of the belief that I'm not a good mom. I take a deep breath and see it leaving, and then I replace it with, I am a good mom. I'm doing the best I can, and it's good enough. I am full of love and patience, and I also work on forgiving myself for not being perfect. And so I'll just say to myself, I choose to forgive myself for yelling at my kids yesterday, and today is a new day. And so it's very important to become very aware of your emotions. And as you do this and you move out the negative, you are able to be very confident and feel powerful and empowered and capable, and all those good supportive emotions. And then we're able to develop our talents better. We start healing our relationship with time and money, with food, with ourselves, with our close loved ones, with our higher power. And we are able to get in a place that if there were an emergency, we would be able to stop and take a deep breath and think straight and be someone that could help instead of being someone that needs to be helped. And so that's my biggest point that I want to make is prepare yourselves now so you can be one of those that can help and that can be a part of your family or whoever you're with to be able to manage what's going on and whatever may come ahead. And that's the most important part. And then right along with it is being physically fit. So what if we don't have water? What if we have to go far to get medicine or herbs or food and we're not able to move? Those of us that are at an age that we can heal and get ourselves in a physical state that if we needed to run because there's an emergency to go help someone that's sick or to pick something up that needs to come back to the community, that we would be able to do that, or go hike up the mountain to get water and bring it back down, or whatever, to be able to be physically fit enough to carry things or walk or run. I want to be one of those that I am capable and able to be a helping hand. And you will regret later if something happens that you are not in a physical state. And even if you feel fit, can you run a mile? I mean, you don't need to be able to run. I'm not saying everybody needs to start training for a marathon and be able to run a marathon, but move your body every day. And this helps you stay emotionally clear because it moves out stagnant energy. It gets the lymph system flowing and the bloodstream flowing. It keeps your bones strong. It keeps your heart strong. It releases those endorphins to keep your mind strong and feel happy. And then you're productive and you're proactive and you're moving forward. And it's important. It's worth every second of your effort to be making a difference in the world and to be getting yourself ready so you can be physically fit, emotionally fit, and spiritually fit. And this is the most important, is taking care of yourself now and helping other people take care of that. And then while you're working on yourself, you start gathering emergency preparedness supplies, food and wheat grain purifiers and all of those things. So I want to read another thing from this book. So I'm referring back to As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And he says, there is no physician like cheerful thought for dissipating the ills of the body. So when we are happy, it literally sends a high healing vibration through our body. And I've had many, many experiences that I've been blessed with, physical ailments and problems physically, and hundreds of up through my children and through clients that I've worked with, just miracles that have happened. But with my own experiences, things that nobody else had ever healed naturally, that I have been through, or nobody that I knew of anyway, or things that seemed like they would never heal. And as I would go in prayer and ask what it is I needed to be able to heal, I was always inspired with the different physical things that I needed to do to be able to heal, but the underlining and most important inspiration that I would receive is that I needed to have faith. I needed to believe that my body could heal and that my higher power would heal me. And as I exercised that faith and built that faith, it was that then that I was able to heal. And so our thoughts affect us. If we have faith or hope and we believe and we pray for it, however you pray to whatever higher power that you have, then that's when you bring in vibrations of healing. And so we're given these physical ways to be able to heal. But without the faith, we can't fully heal. So it's really, really important to recognize the power of our mind and read up on it. And so I recommend this book, As a Man Thinketh, and there's many other books on self-empowerment that you can look up and read, and I highly recommend that. And so to move into some of the food storage information, some of the things that I store, because it's really important to me, I don't want to have, what if an earthquake comes through, which we know in Utah, we're sitting right on the Wasatch fault line. And so just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it isn't going to, and we want to be prepared. So when it hits, I don't want to have ramen noodles and SpaghettiOs and Twinkies. I've heard some people store Twinkies because they indefinitely stay the same in the same condition, and that's because it is complete toxic dead food. Do not store those kinds of things. I'm not saying to not have any. My husband and I have come together where we have some of those things, but we want to be able to give our body nutrients so that we can stay feeling good, and we don't want to get to a point where that happens and we wish we had prepared better. So I want to have my food storage full of things that I'm excited and happy to have to eat. And of course, the top thing would be fruits and vegetables. And so I found in Utah a food storage company called Thrive, and it's extremely high quality, highly nutritive food storage where fruits and vegetables are flash frozen, some dehydrated, retaining and the Thrive Food Storage.com, or Google search for Thrive Food Storage. And so my shelves are full of dried fruits and vegetables. And in my garden, whatever I have left over, I dehydrate, and I keep those stored. So I don't can in any way because most of the nutrients are gone when you do that. And so my personal preference is to dry, and it keeps an extremely high amount of enzymes are able to retain, which is the most important part. That's what gives us our life, is those vitamins and minerals. Okay, and along with the fruits and vegetables, I store, of course, organic and unaltered wheat and beans and brown rice and sea salt, raw honey. You literally could live on raw honey for a long time. Has everything the body needs to be able to live. Also with wheat, you can soak it in water and sprout it and just eat that, and that has everything the body needs. Now, really quickly, those that have my mind just went blank, aren't able to consume and digest the wheat. When the reason why we have such a huge epidemic of not being able to break down the wheat properly is because we are not, first of all, it's been altered and added to, and it's not in its original whole form, and we are not preparing it properly. So when we soak it, there's an enzyme that is released where we're able to break down the grain properly, and our body's able to utilize it all. And so I'm guessing those that are unable to eat wheat will be able to if it is prepared properly and if it's in its wholesome state. And so soaking it and sprouting it and consuming it, people are to consume it. And sometimes it takes time to just take a little bit at a time. Those are difficult. Being an emergency situation and only being left. And during the time you can chew on the grass, not breaking your body needs nutrient-wise. Okay, the other thing is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. So you don't want the conventional apple cider vinegar, but the apple cider vinegar that's left in I said brown rice, raw nuts and seeds like quinoa, and I always have a very large amount of raw nuts, so almonds and macadamia nuts and Brazil nuts and cashews and walnuts and pecans, dried fruit, other than just the food storage, but like raisins and dried, peaches and that you can do on your own is a really good way to have a healthy snack. And then also dried herbs and essential oils. So this would be really, really important to have on hand because these are so extremely healing and calming. And so this is something I would make a priority to have in my food storage. The main herbs that I suggest are cayenne powder, alfalfa, kelp or dulse, slippery elm powder, licorice root powder, comfrey root powder or leaves, marshmallow root powder, dandelion, raspberry leaf, nettle, vital herbs powder. You can get these from Dr. Christopher, Dr. Christopher's lower bowel formula, and then empty capsules so that you can also put the dried herbs in a capsule and take it that way. Sometimes it's hard to take it. Some of those herbs don't taste so good, and you can get more down in the capsule. But making a tea out of any of those, I don't have time today to talk about the purpose of those because it would be a 4-hour class. that you can go to herballegacy.com to read on any of those herbs and know how to use them and why and what they do and their nutritional value. And so I would recommend going to herballegacy.com to read up on that. So I want to share two more quotes, one from a scriptural book called Doctrine and Covenants, and it's section 89, and I want to share the last 4 verses. And so in the scripture, it's talking about taking care of our body in the way that we've been talking, live foods, exercising, thinking positive, but staying away from the food that hurts us and the emotions that hurt us, and putting in the live food that is good for us and the positive thoughts that's good for us. And it says, all saints who remember to keep and do these things, walking in obedience to the commandments, shall receive health in their navel and marrow to their bones, and shall find wisdom and great treasures of knowledge, even hidden treasures, and shall run and not be weary, and shall walk and not faint. And I know that this is true. I know that we can be blessed and that we will be blessed if we do our part to take care of ourselves and be prepared. And really choosing to share that information with others so we can spread it to as many people as we can to have the support and knowledge that they need. And so the last quote is back to the book As a Man Thinketh. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever ye may be, under whatsoever conditions ye may live, know this: in the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the back of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Awake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say into your heart, peace, be still. So I challenge you to really work on your emotions and be willing to go there and move out any negative and stagnant energy that is blocking you and in your way from becoming the best that you can and finding the joy that is for you to have. And to be in a state where if something does happen, that you are physically, emotionally, and spiritually prepared the best that you can be so that you can be a helping hand instead of being in a place you're not able to do what you want to do and feel prompted to do. And it's different for everybody, different ages and different abilities, but to do your part and being prepared for what it is that you need to do. And I would invite you, if you are interested in learning faster and getting support to heal quickly and get education without having to go out and search for it, I have an organized program that supports you and educates you all along the way so that you can have it all in one place and then begin to share that with other people. So you can email back from this email and we can do a free one-on-one and you can ask any questions that you have. And I pray that you will all do your part to, again, find the strength and help that you were born to have, and the joy and the power that is yours to have to be successful and happy. And share this with anybody that you feel is ready and would be open to learning. And we will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for joining me.